All right, think about this for a second. How exactly do you build a rulebook for a country as incredibly diverse, populous, and just downright complex as India? I mean, it's a monumental challenge, right? You have to create a single framework that unites completely different languages, cultures, and geographies. But you absolutely cannot crush their unique identities in the process.
Welcome to this explainer. Today we're jumping right in and unpacking the 10 most unique, salient features of the Indian Constitution. We're going to explore exactly why it's considered a living document. Because, this isn't just some stagnant piece of history from 1950. It is a dynamic, evolving blueprint that actively shapes the world's largest democracy every single day.
To make this massive topic super easy to digest, we've broken the 10 features down into 5 logical themes: the foundational blueprint, the rigid yet flexible structure, the balance of power, Parliament and the courts, and finally, the citizens' core. And stick around because we'll wrap it all up with a quick rapid-fire revision at the end.
Okay, let's kick things off with Section 1, the foundational blueprint.
So the framers of this document had a colossal task ahead of them, and they definitely didn't take any shortcuts. And the result is our very first key feature. It is literally the world's lengthiest written constitution. Fun fact for you, the original was entirely handwritten, and it took nearly 3 whole years just to draft. Unlike the famously brief U.S. Constitution, India's rulebook meticulously details every single aspect of governance, administration, and citizen rights, basically to avoid any future confusion for a newly independent nation.
And that brilliantly illustrates our second feature, which is that it's a true global synthesis. The framers were incredibly pragmatic. They basically looked around and borrowed structural mechanics from the Government of India Act of 1935. But for the philosophical soul of the document, they looked outward. They adopted the idea of fundamental rights from the US and directive principles from Ireland. Truly the best of all worlds. Moving right along, let's get into Section 2, rigid yet flexible structure.
Now, you might be wondering, how does a document this massive actually survive the test of time? Well, that brings us to feature number 3, a highly calibrated blend of rigidity and flexibility. See, altering the vested features of the Constitution requires a rigid, special majority in Parliament, and sometimes even state ratification. But on the flip side, daily administrative changes, like altering state boundaries, those only need a flexible, simple majority.
You can see exactly how this works with Article 368. Experts actually call this deliberate design flexible rigidity. It's brilliant because it ensures the Constitution can evolve right alongside modern society. And by the way, it's been amended over 100 times, while still fiercely protecting its fundamental democratic core from just passing political fads. Okay, let's dive into our third section, the balance of power. Governance in India is this delicate balancing act, which brings us to feature 4, a quasi-federal system. Now, it very clearly divides power between the center and the states, yet it heavily leans towards a strong central authority. Like Article 1 clearly states, India, that is Bharat, shall be a union of states. Basically, the states cannot secede. National unity is the ultimate non-negotiable goal. And it's funny, civil service exams constantly test this exact tension, highlighting that institutions like an independent judiciary are essential federal features. Because think about it, without a neutral umpire in the courts, a strong central government could easily overstep and just erode state autonomy. But wait, what happens in a major crisis? Well, Feature 10 acts as the ultimate fail-safe. Emergency provisions allow the central government to essentially take total control, instantly converting the federal structure into a unitary one, completely without needing a formal constitutional amendment. It is a dramatic, immediate shift designed solely to protect national sovereignty. So, to manage all this immense power on a day-to-day basis, Feature 5 establishes a parliamentary form of government. Unlike the rigid separation of powers you'd see in the United States, the Indian system prioritizes cooperation. The executive branch is drawn directly from and is totally accountable to the legislature. Simply put, if they lose Parliament's confidence, the government falls. Let's shift gears to Section 4, Parliaments and the Courts. So how do the lawmakers and the judges actually interact? Feature 6 is an absolute masterstroke of design, visualizing a really profound synthesis. Parliament has the sovereign power to amend laws in the Constitution itself. However, the Supreme Court wields judicial supremacy, meaning it can strike down those laws if they violate the basic structure of the Constitution, which is a massive doctrine established in the landmark Kesavananda Bharti case. Of course, For this entire system of checks and balances to actually work in reality, Feature 7 defines an integrated and independent judiciary. India has a single, unified hierarchy enforcing both central and state laws. And, crucially, to protect judges from political pressure, their salaries are charged directly to the consolidated fund, and their conduct isn't something that can just be easily debated in Parliament. All right, we've made it to Section 5, the Citizens' Core. What about the rooms in this architectural marvel built specifically for you, the citizen? Feature 8 is a triad of empowerment. First up, fundamental rights guarantee your liberty and equality. Second, directive principles act as a moral compass guiding the state's policies. And third, fundamental duties remind us all that, hey, with great rights comes civic responsibilities. And Feature 9 really binds us all together. The Constitution guarantees a secular state, respecting all religions equally, with absolutely no official state religion. And this pairs beautifully with a single citizenship. Unlike the US, where you are a citizen of your state and your country, in India, no matter where you live, you are foremost an Indian, holding the exact same rights everywhere across the nation. And finally, let's wrap up with Section 6, Rapid-Fire Revision. Okay, let's lock in everything we've just learned. Here is your rapid-fire recap. This is the world's lengthiest globally sourced document. It bends flexibly without breaking its rigid core. It perfectly balances a strong center with state autonomy in a parliamentary setup, synthesizing sovereign lawmakers with independent judges. And ultimately, it puts the secular rights, welfare, and duties of a single citizenship right at its very heart. All of these 10 features make the Indian Constitution a truly living, breathing framework. So as society continues to rapidly change with new technologies, economic shifts, and massive social movements, we want to leave you with this thought. What new amendments and features will this incredible living document need to adopt next to guide the world's largest democracy into the future?
If you found this information useful, then please like and share the video. For more educational videos like this, subscribe to the Prashasan Paath channel today. Thank you.